Alright, I got my little wire stand here to put stuff up on. Let's hope it holds up and actually shows the screen. Alright, it does. I do apologize that this is not zoomed in, but we want to be able to see all of it and at least show you that it's here. So there's a bunch of these. There's two of them that are missing for some odd reason. I don't know. But these are all replies and supporting evidence for The Villain's Crime Part 8. There's a bunch of them. The Villain's Crime channel. And so I guess I'll give you the quick story on them. They actually got a hold of me, and unlike literally every other one of these quote-unquote true crime channels, this place decided to reach out to me and ask for my side and my evidence before proceeding. They decided that they wanted to show the truth. Unfortunately, if they end up showing the truth, well, a lot of people are going to really hate the Bollinger family. And because they committed a lot of felonies. Now, the stuff that I sent them, let me show you here an example. Over here is a bunch of screenshots. These ones are with Danica Garner. That's one of Natalie's ex-stepmothers. These are the screenshots of the protection order, which I didn't even get to read until after Natalie was killed. There's also messages in here between Natalie and I, Rochelle Shelley Campbell, who's the other stepmother. There's a lot in here, obviously, and it took a really long time to gather all this up and put it together. And obviously, the stuff that's being said about me, I specifically sent evidence that what's being said about me ain't true. So these ones right here are actually the video links and some of the pictures showing some of the abuse that I have to go through. This is from my sister explaining that she was followed by the cops and had some guy threaten her. This is after she was trying to help me to turn in Dual County Sheriff Scott DaCosta and several others in town for crimes they were committing against me. This is me being abused in Rawlins PD for trying to turn in child abuse. And you might think these are all unrelated to the Natalie Bollinger thing, but they're really not. This one is about Alicia Bollinger going missing. Shit, let's watch this one. Oh, we can't. I apologize. Let me pause it and turn off. Alright, everybody in the Denver, Boulder area. I just got a message. Alicia Bollinger is missing. If you don't know what she looks like, type up Natalie Bollinger on the internet. She looks just like her sister. Fuck. Go find her, okay? That's one of several videos. So, obviously, I told the truth about those situations. There's more to it, by the way. You know, every time that Alicia Bollinger goes missing, people start threatening to kill my friends and family again. Every time one of these true crime places makes another video slandering my name without bothering to look at both sides, more people start threatening me and my friends and family, and I have an influx of assaults like I had to in Murder in the 21st, Season 1, Episode 1 came out. They ignored literally everything they could, tried to make Natalie Bollinger out to be some perfect little angel who wasn't strung out on fucking heroin. They also went out of their way to paint me in a very inappropriate light, knowing that it was untrue. But then again, the media and social media don't give homeless victims a chance. You notice in all of these situations with other people who are accused of this shit, they want to hear from the person that they're accusing. Why is it that I've been blacklisted by the FBI, by local police forces, by mental health services? Why am I blacklisted by the media? Why have all of these different places gone out of their way to ignore evidence since Natalie was killed? I practically had to force the police who were investigating Natalie's case to look at my telephone and computer. How stupid is that? Let's also look at this right here. Like I said, I've been pretty busy. Oh Christ, we'll have to let it load. It'll take a minute. Let me pause. Alright, so I had to resend some of them. This is my inbox, so this is the stuff that people have sent to me. And obviously there's even more. These are because I sent them and he replied, obviously. Now let's go to my sent list. Well, obviously I've sent quite a few to the villains and so on and so forth. So keeping that in mind, I'm the only person who's been honest in the Natalie Bollinger case. I'm also the only one that these people have fought so hard to prevent from going to court, to prevent from showing evidence, to destroy evidence. When it comes to predators playing victim, here's how it went in nearly every single one of these cases. Every single one of them, possibly. I take abuse, so I try to turn it in. However, I have to state my intention live on YouTube or Facebook before trying to turn something in case they try to change the narrative and pretend something else. So I state very clearly that I want to turn in so-and-so for such and such a crime. And then those people play victim and pretend because I'm threatening to turn them in to the courts and the police. And it's not just a threat. I do plan on doing this, regardless of the fact that I am obviously prevented from doing so. The police don't want to listen to a homeless person. They don't care about us. We must be guilty because we're homeless. We must be lazy. We must be drug addicts. We must be pedophiles. This is what the narrative is. The police tried to frame me for a crime I didn't commit. Well, many crimes I didn't commit. They also had to drop the charges an awful lot. It wasn't a matter of protecting the public. It was a matter of doing everything they could to draw things out so that they could destroy evidence. That's right. They can destroy their body camera evidence of the crimes that they committed if they can drag this shit out for a year. So what does a predator do when you try to turn them in? First thing they do is play victim. Second thing they do is start slandering your name to your friends and your family members. Third thing they do is go to the police and tell the police that they're afraid for their lives and for their families' lives and their kids' lives. It doesn't matter if it's in Chapel, Nebraska, Boulder, Colorado, Tillamook, Oregon, Chesapeake, Virginia, people don't like to be told on. When they do something wrong, they don't want to be held accountable for it. They want somebody else to take the blame. And if they have to lie to do it, so be it. They run around slandering your name to try to discredit you as a human being and try to prevent people from wanting to hear you by calling you mentally ill, schizophrenic, delusional, whatever it takes. The courts have their own version of that. They want to call you mentally ill as well, or say that you're unable to aid and assist. And then there's, of course, the civil holds, and so on, and so on, and so on. There are so many tools available to predators with badges. That includes access to medical personnel, access to pretend like you are trying to harm yourself when you tell them that people are trying to bully you into killing yourself. The problem with the mandatory reporters I went to before Natalie was killed is that they weren't interested in doing anything about the issue. They were interested in making a profit by making me go back week after week. That was the therapy that, of course, the police didn't want to investigate. They just wanted to send me to therapy. So I went to the therapy because the therapy was supposedly be mandatory reporters to help me turn in the abuse. Well, that didn't end up happening, did it? You can hear every mandatory reporter that I speak to making an excuse. Every single one. Nearly every single one. Some of them claim to have turned in what I told them, but it never reached the investigators, and it never, ever came back to me. It literally took Claire helping me in order to get this started. Another thing that you might have noticed is that not only did I tell on my predators, I also admitted to everything that I ever did wrong. Before Natalie was killed, I knew something was coming. So I got on my Facebook and I admitted to literally all of my worst sins. So what makes you think I'm going to hide those sins now? What makes you think I'm going to hide the fact that I used some pretty obnoxious language? Then again, did I start off using obnoxious language? No, I started off asking for help, explaining that I was being harmed over things that never happened. Moral of the story: you can't help somebody who's a drug addict. It might result in you being treated like you're a sex offender.